So it has a special place.
Yeah, and it was the first road game my mom ever came to, so
all right,
it worked out.
Well, hey, and it's always good, added to the, I guess the family scoring with that, as your mom quite a ball player back in her day for Ottawa University as well.
That's what I have been told by about everybody.
And, so family tradition, Ottawa University is, 4-year player here for Ottawa University, and, been a part of a lot of winning in your 4 years. It's been a lot of fun. So, kind of take me back to as you're being recruited here to Ottawa University a little bit. We talked, you have the family connection, obviously, and maybe knew Steve before from being at Lawrence. So what was it that kind of brought you to Ottawa University?
Really, I just, the summer before my freshman year, I just kind of came to a few open gyms with the guys, and I'd been going to open gyms. My dad had forced me to go from like my 8th grade year on, and I bet the first 2 years I went, I didn't get one pickup game in the 2 hours I was there every day. I just stood there on the sideline, sometimes talked to the guys, but I think it just kind of gave me a sense of who everybody was and like who the team was, who Siebes was as a coach, because I only knew him as a person, not as an actual coach. So that was big, as well as just being 25 minutes from home, just always having that support and that just place I can always go to if I need anything, if I need a meal or I need my laundry washed, whatever I need, I can just go right up there. So those are probably the two biggest things.
Well, and you're saying 25 minutes from home out of Lawrence High, but, you could also run down to the Williamsburg area. You got grandparents down there if you needed that too. So you do have a lot of support, and this year it's unfortunate not been able to be as much, but, still have that there, so that's great. Well, as I said, a lot of family ties and everything that's got you here at Ottawa University, and a lot of winning over your time. We were also discussing, some of the guys from quite a while ago.
Oh, yeah.
Not just guys in the last 10 years, but guys from quite a while ago. And talking about chasing down some, possibly putting your name in some record books there. And so that's kind of fun to think about, too, that you could know the guys you're going to take those records from.
It is. For one, Matt Green, I passed him this year in assist, and, I sent him a text immediately after. It was the first thing I did after the game. So just to be able to know them and to be able to, be on the same level as them, the same sentence as them, it's a blessing, really.
Well, that has got to be pretty cool. Matt, another Lawrence guy as well. So, definitely a lot of connections there. And I remember watching Matt play as well, and it was a lot of fun. A lot like it is with you out there, too. So, but, this special guest definitely is the fact that I said, I want a 4-year guy that's been around here, and kind of what it was is, you came in, it would have been what you've been with the program for quite a while, but as the head coach, it was second, third year in.
Third year, I want to say second year, and the year after Kentucky.
Yeah. So and so you come in there, and kind of how have things evolved since you even got here at that time from what those teams were doing then and as your freshman year as to maybe what you guys are now?
I think the first couple of years we were very talented, but I think the thing we lacked the most was the chemistry that we had, especially last year, but this year as well. We were friends, best friends off the court, but on the court I don't think everybody trusted each other as much as probably they should have. And I think it showed sometimes, losing games that we probably shouldn't have. I think we were 8th my freshman year in conference. But then, especially the last 2 years, it's been a complete flip around. Just everybody's bought into anything coach says, anything somebody else says. It's always about we, not me. Stuff like that. Just whatever we can do to win and whatever we can do to try to get another ring.
And the ones you got last year were pretty neat, and absolutely the coaches always push away from talking about last year, but this is my first time with a player, so I'm going to bring up last year and just kind of tell us, as a player, from the player's perspective, what a magical ride last year was.
Last year was I would say the most fun I've ever had playing basketball, and not even just for the fact that we were winning. It was just I had fun doing it. I mean, I love to play fast. I've always loved to play fast, and last year we played about as fast as anyone. We ran out, throw it, one pass shot, get it out of the rim, keep going. So I mean, it was just so much fun and so enjoyable that the winning on top of it just was like icing on a cake, really.
Yeah, and this year, you guys still play at a pretty good pace, that's for sure. A lot of possessions and up and down the floor, but this year's definitely, it started at the end of last year, but we can't get around talking about the effect of COVID.
Yep.
As a player, you went from, you guys opened with a couple wins, Barclay and Baker, and then 33 days before you played your next game because of the COVID. What was that like as a student athlete trying to just work through that?
Man, well, I was one of the first people to have to be quarantined, so I mean I was ahead of the time, but it was just a long, grueling. We were practicing for 2 days, having to sit for 5 days, and then getting a day or two of practicing again. We couldn't go to weights, we couldn't go to conditioning, so we just really had to. It was really a mindset you had to put yourself in to still work for it, even though we knew we weren't going to be able to get in the gym ever. And we knew other teams were playing, and we knew it wasn't fair, but that's how this season's going to go. And so it was all just about keeping on track with the limited time that we've already gotten.
And like you said, the other teams were playing, and they might have played some of their better basketball, it seemed like, maybe earlier in the year, as some teams kind of separated themselves and got to play a lot, and everybody else is trying to play catch up. And that's kind of why you guys have 6 games in the next 16 days, where other teams are just going to play, 3 or 4.
Yep. Yeah, I mean, 6 days and 16 days is, especially in college basketball, it's just different. I mean, you can go out and play 4 AAU games in a day and feel great the next day, but college basketball is just rough and up and down. The way we play, you can't. But yeah, I mean,
it is a grind in the KCAC for sure.
And you have to bring it every game. It doesn't. I mean, I think it shows almost every game. Anyone can come out and beat anyone on any given night if you don't walk in and you don't take them seriously. So,
yeah, especially in the KCAC.
Yeah, definitely.
And, I don't know if we've, obviously with the change from NAIA having 2 divisions to now with 1, with the way the season's played out, really haven't had a chance to see much of it so far. But, if you can get yourselves into that position, maybe make a run, win the conference tournament this year, quite possibly a different format than what we saw last year when you guys got to go to South Dakota and to the Pentagon. This year is going to be a little bit different.
A little bit different. I know they've made some changes to the formatting or whatever, so I don't know how many teams go to Kansas City or not, but to just have the opportunity to go back to, I guess Kansas City this time, but to be able to play against the 40 NAIA teams in the country is just, I mean, you see so much great basketball there that a lot of people just overpass and just wouldn't even think twice about it. So it's really great, and I love it, A, for the sport, and B, just for the NAIA in itself. It's been, I mean, I've been here for 4 years, so I know the grueling and the grind that it takes in NAIA basketball to not get looked at and still have to go out and compete all the time. So it's
You've had so much fun over these 4 years.
I really have. It's been so much fun.
You can tell we aren't going to get it all in 20 minutes of talking to you tonight, but that's okay, because we'll get to see you play a little bit more here, and or listen to it as Casey Weeder will be on the call again tomorrow, and then on Saturday go to Avila and turn around Bethel next week, number 1 in the conference, and but you got to get through 2 teams this weekend or in the next few days that you haven't seen yet this year.
Yeah, and that's, I wouldn't know if it's a problem, but with the KCAC you normally know who you're seeing every time. You get that first round is kind of a feel out game, and the second time. But with this, it's just we know them. We've watched film. We've studied them. We know their plays and everything. So it's just about putting that to it, and just actually buying in and knowing the game plan.
And doing what you guys do.
Yes, exactly, and doing what we do. And if we do that, we're really the only team that I believe can beat us. So
yeah, and you guys, struggled the other night shooting the ball, but hey, that's going to happen. A team that shoots the ball, especially from distance, like you guys do. But usually, a team that shoots, near 40 or above percent from three-point line, just didn't happen. And it.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it just doesn't fall, and it will. We got a couple guys might hit a slump every now and then, but we know other guys are going to step up for it. So, and we don't. Somebody takes a shot, we all immediately think it's going in. I mean, we have the most trust in each other, so.
And that's what makes it so much fun to watch you guys play. We're going to take this opportunity to take our first break. When we come back, we'll have a little bit more here with Ottawa University Braves senior Jackson Mallory. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk from here at the PrimeTime Grille on 1220 and 103.7 FM, KOFO.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa or visit online at keithking.net.
You know why your tagline is not "when it's game time, it's prime time"? Well, how many screens do you have at home? At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at primetime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle & Son Mortuary. When you buy a monument from us, you can count on us to set your stone so that it will remain stable through the years. We pour a substantial amount of fresh concrete with stabilizing piers for the base. A monument is a permanent recording of your family history, and you have every right to expect it to be standing straight and tall for future generations to see. We have been here for generations, and we'll be here to back our guarantee.
Dingle & Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323. It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education, Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.edu.
My stomach.
Don't worry, I've got you covered.
When you have nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
What's that?
It's Pepto-Bismol Chews.
Pepto-Bismols in a chew?
Yeah, they taste great and provide fast relief. And you can always have Pepto-Bismol handy.
Ooh, let me try it.
Try Pepto-Bismol Chews for fast relief.
Nausea, heartburn, indigestion, upset stomach, diarrhea.
Use as directed. Keep out of reach of children.
Today on Hey Culligan, hard water hurts appliances. Go for Glenn in Glenview.
Hey Culligan, my appliances aren't that old and they're already on the fritz.
Sounds like your hard water might be giving your water appliances a hard time, but there is hope in the form of a Culligan high-efficiency water softener that helps extend the life of dishwashers, washing machines, heating systems.
Okay, hey Culligan?
Yeah, Glenn?
Yeah, hook me up.
Glenn, one high-efficiency appliance-saving softener already on the way. Let us help you out with a free in-home water test with the local Culligan water expert at Culligan.com.
And back out here at PrimeTime Grille, Luke Queen bringing out the University Braves Hoop Talk. And still with me here in segment number 2, Ottawa University Braves senior guard Jackson Mallory. And Jackson, we kind of joked about it there early on, but you have really played all 5 positions, guarded all 5 positions in your time at Ottawa University. Last year, this year, I can't remember back to when you were a freshman if you had done it then. But, Is that just part of your love of basketball, is to know what every position's supposed to do, what your job is there, and to be able to, if the coaches ask you to do that?
I would say so, yes. I would give most of that credit probably to my mom. Just growing up, watching her coach like every day. I went to their practices, so I just kind of I feel like I see the game differently. And I kind of feel like I see it in slow motion. I know what each person needs to do to be in order to be open, even if it's a counter move off of what the actual play is. Being able to know what the opposing team's strengths and weaknesses are, even if it's their 5-man and he's 6-7 inches taller than me. Just trying to do whatever I can just to give us that extra edge to win. And, I mean, that's really all it is, just want to win.
Just want to win, and enjoy playing the game.
Exactly.
And I've seen you do it, giving up 6 or 7 inches, in different situations, whether they tell you to front or play behind. And, you've drawn charges, you've found ways to get rebounds over guys like that. Is that just fun for you when you get that challenge to be able to do something against a guy that might be 6'8" and 235 pounds?
Honestly, it is. It just gives me that extra motivation to go in and want to get that, going in and battling against dudes that are 6'7", 6'8", on rebound when I'm 6'2", in some high heel shoes. I mean, it's just fun going up and trying to jump over them, get that rebound, or boxing them out and fighting with them down there. I've just always been a guard my whole life, so I've kind of always wanted to do it, to see what it's like, and then when I actually get it, it just brings me more joy to the game, the grit and the grind, as I've kept saying over and over. That's just part of it.
All right. Well, and I have asked the coaches, and they've said it on the air, so I can repeat it. That you're kind of a guy that will do anything and for the team, and that's one of the things that they love most about you.
Yeah.
But the other thing that they've mentioned to me a couple times might be when somebody else, like when Jaquan went off at St. Mary's, and the joke after the game was, is you and Jaquan combined for 40 that night.
Yeah, we did. We combined for 39 on that. We haven't hit 40 this year. I told Quan he needs to make an extra free throw, but I know I try to go for 40 at least with somebody every time. I think me, Tristan, and Quan hit 40 that game.
Nice.
So the trio got it.
Well,
yeah, I mean, like I said, whatever I got to do to win, I don't need to score. Really happy with 2 points, 8 rebounds, 7 assists. That's a great stat line for me. And if I can keep it enjoyable, like you said, joke about it with Quan after he goes for 35, and I have 4. I'm pretty sure they were all free throws. Make it more enjoyable.
Well, and you did have a big game. If I remember correctly, it was not this past fall. It was actually in 2019. At Baker had a little foul trouble, maybe an injury to a big man, and suddenly you're playing the 5 and end up with a pretty big stat night all the way across the board.
I think I ended with 10, or I don't remember how many points I had, but I had 10 rebounds and 9 assists. I was 1 off of a triple-double, and I was pretty hurt about it. I really wanted it.
Well, if somebody would have just knocked down that one more shot, you gave them the opportunity
maybe
for.
Steve left me in a little bit longer.
Well, sometimes when you're in the lead, sometimes you got to get you guys a break here too. So, and obviously with the record you guys have put up over the last few years, I think the team and the coaching, they know what they're doing.
Oh, they definitely do. They definitely do.
Well, looking ahead here, so we talked about how you haven't seen Bethany, haven't seen Avila. You're only going to get to see them the one time. York being the other team that you only, in conference, that you only saw the one time. So Lindsborg, obviously good place for you. First college bucket was there. You know what the Swedes are probably going to bring out tomorrow night? A little bit of insight from the players' perspective.
Just from watching a little bit of film and just from knowing Bethany overall, I mean, they're a tough team. They're really skilled players, but at the same time, they don't always have the strongest team mentality. But I think they're definitely trending upwards, beating Southwestern last week, or this week, whatever it was. And over the last couple games, they've definitely looked way much better. They've looked solid offensively. So I think if we don't come out and we're not ready for it, I think it definitely is going to be a dogfight. I think they're a solid team in our conference. They're right under us, so It's definitely a big game.
The big game is you guys are at 8-7 in KCAC play, 11-7 overall. Bethany, is, like you said, is trending upward. They're now at 7-8. They're 8-9 overall, and coming off that big win against Southwestern, a team that you guys, uncharacteristically in KCAC play in your 4 years, had to see them twice in 9 days.
9 days, yeah, which was kind of good for us because we lost the first one, so it's just that extra motivation. We knew we were getting that one. We knew we had to get that one, whatever it took. But yeah, seeing a team twice within almost week span is crazy.
Yeah, you're used to seeing them in December and then again in February, and
then waiting to play them again, and then we just got them right back.
Well, and so then again, you'll travel to Avila on Saturday. So the shortest bus trip in the KCAC for sure.
My favorite bus trip.
Running up to KC Mo for that one. Avila, as I've watched them over the last few years, I know the players that are no longer there, but what does Avila do, especially in their place, a different type of gymnasium?
Oh, yeah, it definitely is.
What do they bring that you might be expecting?
Normally I don't know this year with COVID, but normally their fans are really hectic, right on top of us. Sometimes got to have security out there the last couple of years. But they fight. They're one of the hardest playing teams in conference. They're not always the most skilled, but we saw them in Summer League this year, and they destroyed a team in Summer League just from straight layups, threes. We're just running all over them, outworking them, and I think they're really solid defensively. So I think it should be a pretty good game.
And Avila is percentage-wise sitting right behind Bethany.
Yep.
So we're talking about a couple teams there. You guys sitting in the 5 spot, Bethany 6, Avila 7, Tabor, down at 8. So, these are teams that are fighting for those spots,
definitely,
to come quarterfinals KCAC tournament.
Oh, definitely. I mean, everybody's fighting for a spot, but teams more than other that. We've been to the top. What it's like, but there's those teams that are just trying to get there, and everybody wants to get there, and they'll fight and claw and do whatever they have to. And middle of the pack, the KCAC is about as good as any middle of the pack conference in the country, I would say.
Well, I tell you what, Jackson, I appreciate you coming in tonight and
having me,
chatting with me about the season, the career, and it's definitely not coming to an end anytime soon. We're about planning for that. So I appreciate you checking in with me. Again, I want to thank everybody for tuning in here with Jackson Mallory. We're going to take our second break, and when we come back, we're going to switch over to the women's side and bring in a few special guests on the women's side. You're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk from here at PrimeTime Grille. I am Luke Queen, KOFO Sports.
It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education, Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.edu.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle & Son Mortuary. We love all of our kids and do stuff for them all the time, even the grown-up kids. I have a suggestion of something you can do that you may not have thought of. Make your funeral arrangements. You can't imagine how stressful it is for families who have no clue as to what their folks wanted or where to find all the information needed for the death certificate. We can help you make formal arrangements, or we can give you forms to fill out at home. Give us a call at any one of our funeral homes. We're glad to help.
Dingle & Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know you're comprehensive from your collision, your no fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa, or visit online at keithking.net.
You know why your Your tagline is not when it's game time, it's prime time? Well, how many screens do you have at home? Uh-huh. At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at primetime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
Have you wanted to speak a new language, but thought it would be too difficult? Then try Babbel. Babbel starts by teaching you words and phrases that gradually get more complex. Soon, you're practicing short conversations. So in 15 minutes a day, you'll be speaking a new language in a few weeks. Babbel is built around real life. It teaches you practical conversations that you will actually use. Babbel, language for life. Celebrating 10 million subscriptions sold. Now try Babbel for free. Just go to babbel.com today. That's BABBEL.com.
Right now, Allstate has almost as many ways to save as there are types of music. Save for being a new customer. Save more for adding DriveWise. And save even more for driving safely. Visit Allstate.com or contact your local agent to get a quote. Find out how much you can save today. Allstate. Now that should be music to your ears.
Not available in every state. New customer savings based on early signing discount. DriveWise is an optional feature. Savings vary based on how you buy. Subject to terms and conditions. Allstate Fire and Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates. Northbrook, Illinois.
Back here at PrimeTime Grille with Luke Queen with Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. And coming in to join me now, I've got a couple special guests here from the women's side. A new assistant coach, Jasmine Grant, and Brave, let's see, junior, one of a lot of juniors on the team, but one's been around for a few years, Liz Vaughn. So, ladies, thanks for coming in and joining me.
Thanks for having us.
All right. Well, Coach Grant, I want to start with you just real quick here. Nothing, again, too crazy. Just kind of came in here right around the holiday break, with a little bit of the COVID issues and not being able to be at games all the time and trying to see it on the streams and things like that. I did notice that there was a new face over there at one point, and so I kind of had to ask Coach Scott at one point to say, okay, tell me a little bit about you. So just give us a little bit of background information. I know you've, been with Coach Scott before, so just kind of give us a little bit about what first-year assistant coach duties are for you.
So like you said, we coached together at Xavier. We coached together for 4 years, and then I decided to step away from coaching. I had been coaching for 6.5 years, and I was like, okay, let me focus on my career, and thought, I wanted to take a break. And so I ended up moving to Florida. And I missed coaching way more than I thought I did, more than I thought I would. And, she had an assistant job open. And so working with her at Xavier, we knew each other very well, very similar in styles of play. So I knew that the transition wouldn't be that hard for me working with her. As far as duties go, scouts, thrown right into them because we're in the middle of the season. Recruiting, heavily recruiting. Guard development. It's a long list, but we talked about it before I got there, so I knew what I was getting into before coming. So.
And you with your experience coaching, especially at smaller college basketball, the coaches, as we discussed last week with Coach McClintock, said even if the laundry needs done, he's gonna do it. So it doesn't matter if it's part of the program, you're gonna do it.
Yes, that is correct.
Well, we are glad here to have you in Ottawa. I'm sure you're anticipating the 16-degree weather we're going to have over the weekend as you came up from Florida, but
that is an adjustment for me, let me tell you.
But yeah, I know that we are glad to have you here, and obviously I can just say this, since your arrival, we can just go back on the schedule and kind of look to see a little bit, maybe it's the whole program getting familiar with each other, but there was an arrival there, and suddenly the wind started kind of piling up a little bit more too. I'm not trying to take anything away from Coach Scott as she's looking over our shoulder at us, but we can kind of say maybe there was a little bit of a connection there too.
yeah, I can't take all the credit for it, but I do think, you know, it's a little bit less stressful for her with more help on the sideline, so that's good.
And somebody that we could probably give a little bit of the credit to is also here with us is Liz Vaughn. Liz been around here for 3 years, and I've watched you play a lot of basketball games, and enjoy watching you play basketball, and it has really been kind of the transition. We've talked about all of everything that's been going on. COVID starting last year, we're still working through that. But then in the midst of it, a new coach coming in, a new staff, a new way, a new style, kind of what was the adjustment like for a player with the new coaches coming in and with everything else going on?
Right. So COVID was pretty hard for everybody, so it was already a struggle with that, especially it was a lot of new faces this year on the team, a lot of players that I'd never played with before. So with COVID, you would have times where 2 were out and these 2 were out, so it was kind of hard to kind of gel, but now we're at that point where we're gelling and working a lot better together. All the adjustments we made with the coaching staff, all the adjustments we made have added on to our program. So right now we have all the pieces we need to be really successful and to just keep on our winning streak and everything like that. So right now we just make the best of it, and the adjustments have been very productive.
Well, good. And that, I talked to Coach Scott, who came in the middle of this, and trying to get your workouts in with very limited ability.
She got it in. She worked us out. There was no issue with that. We worked out.
Well, she was thinking she could have done more, but I'm glad to know that you got them in, and obviously that work is paying off because, as you said, the wins have been piling up here, especially since the turn into 2021 for you guys is really been really good basketball, and a couple hiccups here and there. Some nights shots just don't fall, but what is it that you try to bring every night, no matter what? Is it getting on the boards? Is it playing the defense? Or what is it kind of your favorite part of playing basketball?
That's a lot, I love being out there. So I think my favorite part is I love bringing intensity to the court. I like to shift the energy. So any way I can do that, whether it's getting involved with rebounds, whether it's scoring, or whether even making assists and finishing plays, any way I can get involved to bring up that energy to where my team starts going, that's all I need. So any way I can get in.
Hey, perfect. Absolutely perfect answer. So, like I said, coming off of a win against York, played really good defense that night, and second time you guys have seen York. Now you're getting to go take on Bethany, and saw them prior to the holiday break, if I remember correctly, or is that early on?
Yeah.
Okay. And, that was kind of the time of the year, you're still trying to figure things out. You also went through all the COVID stuff that was happening at Ottawa University in November. What do you think that you guys can bring differently, into that game tomorrow night?
So I think we've grown a lot since that game. We should bring a lot more defense intensity and also offense, a lot of our plays that we change. So really the flow of our offense and defense should be a lot better. We grew as a team, so overall it should be better.
All right. And, Coach, before we go to break, I got a couple more for you. So, guard development, recruiting, I pester coaches every time I talk to them. How is it you recruited prior to all the current situation? What are you doing now, whether it be all online type of recruiting? What can you do to kind of get players and let them know what you guys are about and try to get them involved in the program?
Well, so glad that technology has, done what it's done in these years, because, with COVID, it's kind of hard to get out and recruit older times. But, we have, virtual tours. There's a lot of FaceTime, Zoom, all of that stuff is very good for us, especially in this time. So we try to do as much of that as possible without, putting anyone at risk with traveling. So technology has been the best thing for us as far as recruiting during these times.
Yeah, and it's just kind of strange to me. I've always remember seeing coaches at games as going out to cover on the radio that I see coaches, college coaches there, and now I'm lucky if I get in the gym to call the game. So, you know, it's different all the way around. So obviously technology has helped. And, you know, I don't know if I've asked Coach Scott this or not. Is there a style of player you're looking for? I've asked Coach Siebenthal and Coach McClintock this, and I bother them with it whenever I see them, you know, around anyway. Is there a certain type of player that you see that you're looking for when you're out there recruiting, or is it just a basketball player, or somebody that fits the system?
It's kind of both, really. I think both Coach Scott and I were really big on kids that can play both sides of the basketball. I love defense. That's probably my favorite part about basketball. I'm a true believer that you can't win championships without playing defense. That wins you championships. And so kids that can play defense is very, very important to us. And kids that we want to be able to press a lot more. So kids that are able to, you know, like 94 feet pretty much majority of the game. So those are two things that we look for. And then also some tough kids, I guess more so, you know, battling through some adversity. If you're down by 10, how do you respond to that? How does your body language, how does all that change when, you know, you're trying to fight back and win a game?
Oh, well, this is fun. I like talking to assistants and players. This is fun. No offense, Coach. All right, well, one more for Liz before we take a break here. So you're from the Kansas City area, right?
I'm from Kansas City, Kansas, straight out the dot. Yes, sir.
Out the dot. All right. So Sumner Academy?
Yes, sir. Number one school in Kansas.
Hey, well, I had a lot of tough games against them back in my playing days. And it's a great school and good basketball. So, you know, you come down from, you know, KCK. There's a lot of good basketball up there. What's the difference between KCAC play and maybe where it was the you know, kind of in that city area back in the, you know, because it's tough basketball up there in high school too, but what is it that KCAC that you got to kind of fight through?
Well, I can definitely say one of the biggest differences is KCAC, everybody's here to play basketball, and that's what they come for school and then they come for basketball. Everybody's like-minded with that, having a common goal. High school is a little give and take. You have some players that do AAU year-round and they do basketball. Then you have some players that are just there because it's basketball season. So I think coming into KCAC is a lot more competition and a lot more really good athletes. So that's probably the biggest change.
Everybody's a basketball player in the KCAC, and it is a good conference, and you ladies are doing great right now. We'll talk more about that when we come back, but we're going to take another time out. When we come back here, we'll have more with Coach Grant and Liz Vaughn. After this, you're listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk from here at PrimeTime Grille on 1220 and 103.7 FM, KOFO.
This is Craig Dingle of Dingle & Son Mortuary. When you buy a monument from us, you can count on us to set your stone so that it will remain stable through the years. We pour a substantial amount of fresh concrete with stabilizing piers for the base. A monument is a permanent recording of your family history, and you have every right to expect it to be standing straight and tall for future generations to see. We have been here for generations, and we'll be here to back our guarantee.
Dingle & Son Mortuary, 785-242-2323.
Let's face it, auto insurance can be confusing. Do you know your comprehensive from your collision, your no-fault from liability, your premium from your deductible? After an accident is no time to find out that your definition of full coverage is actually different from what your policy says. Let local State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King explain auto insurance in terms you can understand.
I'm State Farm Insurance Agent Keith King. Let's work together to be sure your vehicle has the coverage you need. Call and schedule an appointment today at 242-9435. Stop by my office at 111 South Main in Ottawa, or visit online at keithking.net.
You know why your tagline is not when it's game time, it's prime time? Well, how many screens do you have at home? Uh-huh. At PrimeTime Grille at Fusion Alley, you've got over 40 screens to watch whatever game time it is, including the Ottawa High and Ottawa Middle School teams through the USD 290 Ottawa Sports Network. PrimeTime Grille can stream any of the games you request. Support your hometown team and enjoy the fine Kansas cuisine of PrimeTime Grille at the same time at primetime. Appetizers, drinks, entrees, salads, and more while you watch the Cyclones or the Whirlwinds in action. Now you know, when it's game time, it's prime time.
It's never too late to become who you're supposed to be. However, sometimes you may need a little help. Ottawa University can get you there. Their faculty and staff are dedicated to preparing graduates for a lifetime of significance. With dozens of degree programs, including accounting, engineering, human services, and marketing, as well as graduate degrees in business administration and education, Ottawa University will prepare you for whatever or whoever you want to be. Don't wait. Get started today. Find out more by visiting online at ottawa.edu.
So there's this guy, and his name is Jose, and he's healthy, he's got a happy family, he's busy running his own payroll company in Texas, goes to the doctor and gets news you never want to hear, cancer. And here's the thing, he had switched from medical insurance to MediShare, which is a Christian healthcare sharing ministry. So the question for Jose and his wife Estrella was, is this really going to work? Especially after they got hit with an $85,000 bill.
That bill was paid so fast that it was amazing.
We didn't have to worry. They paid right away. All his doctor visits, it was just amazing.
So yes, MediShare works, and a typical family saves $500 a month when they switch to MediShare. But it's not just about the money.
Just to have believers knowing that they're praying for you, it melted your heart.
And I tell you, I had nothing but great things to say about MediShare.
Why wait? You can call now, 855-51-BIBLE. That's 855-51-BIBLE. 855-51-BIBLE.
Liberty Mutual Insurance Company presents. And Doug.
Breathe out and repeat after me. Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Liberty Mutual customizes your car insurance, so you only pay for what you need.
Your bird is eating my candles.
Your bird is eating my candles.
No, seriously, he's making a mess.
No, seriously, he's...
Liberty, 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 liberty.
Get a customized quote at libertymutual.com.
And welcome back here to the Primetime Grill. Luke Queen with you once again for Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk, our final segment here. Still have Liz Vaughn and Coach Jasmine Grant here with me, and we were kind of discussing in the break how much basketball they've got in the next 16 days. 7 games in 16 days. And Liz, I'll come to you first to kind of say, as a player, do you like having more games and less practices kind of time in there? Or in your situation a little bit, it's so many fast turnarounds, Saturday to Monday to Thursday to Saturday, or Wednesday to Saturday. There's not a whole lot of rest inside that time. Is that something you're looking forward to, or something you wish you kind of had a little bit more of the old schedule where it was Wednesday, Saturday only?
Well, I mean, right now it's okay. We've been making an adjustment. Practices are pretty light. We work on what we need to work on, things we need to fix, and get ready for the next game. Our coaching staff, they're pretty hard with treatment and making sure we're recovering well and making sure we're taking care of our bodies. So usually everybody stays pretty healthy. But, I mean, right now we're just rolling with the punches because we'd rather have games than no games with all the conditions going on now. So it just try to be grateful for everything we got going on.
Go back to when you didn't get to play as much in that first semester.
Exactly. So we're just got to be playing basketball at this point.
Obviously, it's got to be a lot more fun to be playing than, 2 days of practice and then having to sit something out or take a break for 2 weeks even. I don't know. Not asking if anybody did, but, I know it happened out there, and it made it very difficult. So, obviously, got a lot of them coming up here, starting with Bethany tomorrow in Lindsborg. Then you go to Avila on Saturday and then turn around and have Southwestern. You got to travel to Winfield on Monday. So, we got 3 of them in 5 days.
Yeah.
And so, quick turnarounds there. Coach Grant mentioned a little bit of the scouting earlier. So Coach, that quick of a turnaround, what's it like for a coaching perspective to have such a quick turnaround, not maybe more than a walkthrough and just going through the scout? What's that like for a coaching staff with that many games in a short amount of time?
So really you don't even have time to think about the game you just played. You're thinking about the next game that you do have to play. Like, we're literally, as soon as we're done, we're watching film on the next team. The good thing is that most of the teams we have played once already, so there's not too much changes in the scouting reports. But even still, like, trying to get them days off or rest, because you don't want them to go a whole 7 days with no rest. because we do have a few kids that play a lot of minutes, so you have to try to manage, their legs and all of that, and then on top of traveling, you got to think about all of that stuff. So yeah, it's been pretty crazy and the most film watching. But like Liz said, we're grateful to be playing because there are teams out there who aren't fortunate, to be playing. So.
And you've got games against teams right in the hunt for those quarterfinal positions. You guys are one of them, obviously fighting for that to get back to the KCAC tournament. And it's a jumbled mess right in the middle of the KCAC. So, looking ahead a little bit, maybe further out than even just tomorrow, Bethany, what are they, just a game ahead of you, but 2 spots ahead of you as far as the standings go because, so what do you kind of expect out of the Swedes tomorrow? Start with Jasmine a little bit, I guess.
They're a pretty good team. Honestly, when watching film, I feel like they're a lot similar to us. They have a lot of kids that can score the basketball. You just never know who's going to have that night, and I feel like we're the same way. You don't have that one person that, one night it could be Payne or another night it could be Liz. So I feel like it's kind of almost a mirror of us. I think that, if we do the little things and we defend, I think we have a very good chance to win tomorrow. So.
And Liz, a little bit, you've played against them. You've played against them for 3 years now. So this will be maybe the 6th time you've seen them on the floor. Is there anything you kind of do a little bit differently knowing you're going against them? If, like, who matches up with you, what you might be able to do to exploit that matchup?
Our offense has a lot of opportunities for me to score the basketball. So honestly, it's with the flow of that. So if I see opportunity, I'll take it. So really, it just changes every night, depending on how they're playing. And my teammates do an awesome job of getting me open. So honestly, it just depends on that night.
And like Coach Grant mentioned too, it is a team that I think probably has had 6 or 7 different leading scorers on it. You mentioned Kenesia Payne. Jalissa Simons was Vaughn had a double-double a couple, not too long ago, if I remember correctly.
Not too long ago. Recently, Amir
had another one. Kenesia's had one.
It could be Haley, Grille.
Yep.
It's like pick your poison at this point.
And it's who they're going to guard and which one of them is going to be open, and it's usually a good option that's left open in that situation. Do you guys play? You played Avila early on, and big win that night. And I want to say that might have been the first win of the season. Maybe, is that right? I think it was back in the 1st of December, and I'm rolling back now, and that was 80-59 victory. It was here at home though, so you got to go up to Avila on Saturday. It's been 2 months since you've seen them, which is kind of more KCAC style. But do you remember much from that game? Obviously, it's 2 months ago, and we had to think about how far back it was.
I remember playing a lot of defense. Very strong on the defense side. That's what I remember. We're usually a team that doesn't have a problem putting the ball in the hoop, so defense is what we like to try to focus on because that's what gets us open for our offense. So.
And you guys do a great job getting the ball, rebounding the basketball, and getting it started on your offense. You're one of the better rebounders I've seen, but your teammates do a great job too. Again, it could be anybody that's going to go up and pull down 12 boards, and we could go down that list that we just did on scoring as well. But it does start with the defense, and Coach Grant, you kind of mentioned to me, that's your forte. What is maybe your style of defense? You like the man-to-man, you like to press, drop back into a zone every once in a while? Is there kind of the one that you hang your hat on the most?
I'm old school. I like man to man. That's, you know, I really do. I love man to man. I like picking up full courts, making them work all night. So yeah, I mean, I don't mind playing zone every once in a while because usually, you know, coaches are drawing up plays against a man. So when you know, it's different looks. But for the most part, yes, I love man.
Well, and you guys have been obviously playing doing a great job with it. I mean, you know, even in some of the games you don't shoot the ball well, you're always in that basketball game. And I got to call a couple of those where maybe the shots weren't falling early on, but the defense kept you right in that basketball game. And, you know, that's a fun way to play basketball for sure. And you guys are doing a great job hanging your hat on that. And obviously the record speaks for itself when you go down to it. Currently 9-10 overall, but 9-8 in the KCAC. And that's when it comes down to the getting into the postseason, that's what you really need is that KCAC record to be where it is. So I just want to say good luck to you the next 16 days with all these games. Get your rest, drink your water. Coach, have fun watching more film because you don't have time not to be doing that. And the Braves back in action tomorrow in Lindsborg. The women tip off 6 o'clock, men to follow at 8. You can hear that on 1220, 103.7 FM. Casey Weeder will be there on the call for the Braves broadcast, or you can pick it up on the live stream as well. But you don't get to hear Casey that way, so make sure and tune in on 1220 or 103.7 FM. But ladies, again, thank you for coming out. I appreciate it, and it was a lot of fun for me to get to meet you, Liz, and you, Coach Grant, and kind of get a little bit different angle on the Ottawa University women's basketball program.
Thank you for having us.
All right, well, we are going to wrap it up from here at PrimeTime Grille. You've been listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. We should be back, I believe, next Thursday night with maybe with a couple other players. I don't know. We haven't quite gotten that far, but a busy time of year for the Braves. And I appreciate everybody tuning in. Paige back at the studio for doing all the work there tonight. We'll be wrapping it up from here at PrimeTime Grille. You've been listening to Ottawa University Braves Hoop Talk. I am Luke Queen, KOFO Sports.
Information and entertainment in East Central Kansas. KOFO K279CS Ottawa, where keeping you informed comes first. As a public service from KOFO, we now join the Ottawa City Commission meeting live. Brought to you by Ryan Henningsen with Edward Jones. For your investment needs, call Ryan at 242-1088. We are 1220 and 103.7 FM KOFO.
Commission for Wednesday, February 3rd. Would you please call the roll? Our brand new clerk, Melissa Reed, would you please call the roll?
Mayor Kaler?
Present.
Commissioner Crowley?
Present.
Commissioner Skidmore?
Present.
Commissioner Jorgensen?
Present.
Commissioner Weigand?
Oh, Commissioner Weigand, I think you're on mute, but we see you there.
Okay, I'm still present.
Don't hear you.
Perfect.
Okay.
I'm still impressed that Melissa's desk is completely empty, so pretty impressive. Way to go, Melissa. So I want to start out with that welcome. Welcome to Melissa and to everybody else who may be joining us this evening. We appreciate you being part of the process. If you're watching this after the meeting is over and you have a question, please don't hesitate to call City Hall and ask those questions. We are here to represent you as citizens of Ottawa and really want the best for our community, as I know you do too. So thank you for being here. We will begin with the Pledge of Allegiance, followed by the invocation. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America,
to the
and to the republic for which it stands,
one nation, under God,
indivisible,